Hi and welcome to this slow flow into backbends practice. In this flow, we're going to prepare the shoulders, the spine, the hips for some backbends, and we're going to end with a playful wild thing. Let's get started. For this practice, you don't need any props unless you really like to use blocks, then you're very welcome to have some blocks there next to you, but I'll lead you through the practice without any props. And we're going to start from seated. And for the beginning of the practice, you could either find yourself in a cross-legged seat, or you could sit on your knees, on your shins. We're going to spend a few moments in this seat, so make sure it's comfortable enough, you don't feel any pain. Just give yourself a few breaths, just slowly settling in. Start to release your ribs as you breathe in and out. Now in the beginning of the practice, we're going to focus on releasing the shoulders, releasing the rib cage to move, just with the breath and some gentle movement. Check that you can release the tops of the shoulders away from the ears. And let your chin release closer to your chest. So we're not leaning the neck forward, but just finding that relaxed, long neck. Take another breath in and out. Send that breath to the back of the ribs, feeling the movement on the back side as well. And then just release the arms next to your sides. And as you inhale, let your arms float up towards the ceiling, opening the front of the ribs as you breathe in. And exhale, bring the arms sideways down. Let the back of the ribs open and lean your head slightly forward. And again, inhale, arms floating up, opening the front of the ribs, opening the sides of the ribs. And exhaling, arms come down, closing through the front, opening through the back. And repeat this a couple more times. The in-breath, arms lengthen up, opening through the front. Let the ribs move. Exhaling down, closing through the front, opening through the back. Just really feeling the ribs moving. Inhaling up. You can let your head, your neck move. And exhaling down. Follow the pace of your own breath. Let's do one more round. Just feeling the breath, moving the shoulders, moving the ribs. And exhaling down. And then come back to a neutral spine. Open the chest. And we'll move our wrists next. So make a loose big fist with your hands. Bring the hands together, interlock the fingers, and start to circle the wrists. Just gentle movement. Keep the shoulders soft. Let the wrists move. Keep practicing your breathing. You can change the direction, go a few times the other way. Just bringing gentle movement to the wrist. We're going to have quite a few movements where we bear weight on the hands. So we'll warm up the wrists as well. Couple more circles, couple more breaths. And then slowly let that wrist movement calm down. And we're going to bring arms again next to the sides. We're going to go into what I call the B movement. We're going to lean first forward like a child's pose, but keep yourself active so you know that you can lift yourself up from here. Arms next to the sides, the backs of the hands facing down towards the mat. So at this point, come onto your shins if you've been sitting cross-legged. Now as you inhale, start to rotate your shoulders open, palms facing out to the sides, and lift your back up, opening the chest. Inhale. Find a small back bend, so you're opening your chest, maybe looking up and turning the palms out so that rotation comes from your shoulders. As you breathe out, you can rotate your shoulders in, closing the chest and rounding forward into that child's pose. A similar movement as we did seated in the beginning, but a bit bigger movement for the spine. Same again. Inhale, rotate the palms out, rotate the shoulders. The back lifts up, opening through the chest. Find a small back bend. You could even look up, let the shoulders drop down and back. And exhale, closing the chest, rotating the shoulders in and opening the back side of the spine. Head can lean all the way down. Couple more times with the in-breath, opening through the front. Gently draw the shoulder blades towards each other as you feel the engagement on the back side. And exhale, rotating the shoulders in, closing through the front, rounding the back. 2 more times. Inhaling up. Gently press your toes onto the mat. And let your neck, let your head move. Let the ribs move. The exhalation closing, and we're really bringing movement to ribs, the spine, the shoulders. Inhale once more, opening the chest, lifting the back up. Like bee opening its wings. And once more, exhaling down. Again, let your head move down as well. And then take a couple of breaths in your child's pose. Just take a maybe slightly bigger breath towards your back. Exhale through the mouth. And then slowly bring yourself up onto all fours. And you could take a couple of steps from one hand to the other. Shift the weight from one knee to the other. And from here, we continue bringing movement to the spine, the shoulders, the hips. We start to circle the weight between the knees and the hands. Maybe a small circle first, just shifting the weight from hands to knees. And when you found that movement, start to move your spine a bit more. Like you're going through small side bends. Maybe there's a bit of cat-cow movement going on. So maybe you're rounding and arching the spine as well. Keeping movement in the shoulders and in the hips. And then the spine moving between them. From an easy place, you could change the direction. There's no right way to do this. It's really about finding movement to places that feel that they need movement. You might adjust where your hands are as you're moving. Let your neck, your head move as well. And keep breathing. We'll do a couple more circles. Also a good place to activate the hands, so really feel the fingers, the palms spreading, activating on the mat. And then find your way to center, what feels like center to you now. And next we're going to step our left foot forward. So now bring your left foot close to the hands, like you're coming into a low lunge. We're going to keep this low lunge a bit higher up. So once you have your left foot down, inhale, lift your back up. You can reach your arms up as well. Now slightly tuck your tail under. So rather than letting yourself lean all the way forward, just slightly tuck in so you stay a bit higher up. Really focusing on opening through the front of the right thigh, front of the right hip. And then exhale, bring hands behind your head, behind the neck. Open elbows out to the side, so you're opening your chest. Inhale, move into a small back bend, so lift your chest bone just slightly up. As you exhale, round your upper back and bringing chin to the chest. You can close the elbows as well. And inhale again, opening through the chest. That subtle back bend, lifting the chest bone up, opening the elbows. And exhale, closing in, bringing chin towards the chest. Keep the tailbone gently tucked under. And again, inhale, opening through the front. Sending the breath to the rib cage, to the chest. Exhale, rounding forward, opening through the back ribs. So opening between the shoulder blades. One more round. Inhale, opening the chest. Keep your legs active. Keep the left foot pressing down. And one more rounding forward. From this rounding, bring your hands all the way down. So release hands to the mat. And now turn your right foot more to the side of the mat. And we're going to step hands to the right side of the mat, maybe even off the mat. Stay on your fingertips and start to find a downward dog shape with your upper body while keeping both knees bent. So now opening more through the hips. Here you might slightly lean the weight onto the left foot, but keep both legs active. Maybe you feel this around inner thighs, maybe the groin area. But keep that long downward dog idea going through your arms, so arms stay active. Head could lean down. Like in downward dog, you can release your neck and keep breathing. So we're not collapsing down, we're looking for that active long line, opening through the shoulders. Take another breath in and out. Release the very tops of the shoulders. And then slowly, slowly walk the hands back closer to that left foot. Now turn your right leg in, so you can tuck the right foot toes under and then step into downward facing dog. You can adjust your hands, you can walk a bit from one foot to the other so you find a stable downward dog. And from here, we're going to send the right leg up into a three-legged dog. And now we're going to look for some opening through the front of that right leg. So we start to rotate both hips open. And then you can even bend that right knee and look for opening from your right armpit all the way up to that right knee. You might peek under your right armpit. You might even lean the weight a bit more onto the left hand. Keep the core engaged though, so don't let your back collapse. And keep both hands still active, even if you have more weight on the left hand. And gently reaching the right knee away from the right armpit. Take another breath or two in and out. Then you can soften the neck. And then exhale. Slowly release. Bring your both feet down. Again, you can move a bit from one foot to the other. And from this downward facing dog, come forward into plank. We'll go just through a brief flow. So shift the weight forward into plank. Then as you exhale, come down into low plank or all the way down onto your belly. Inhaling cobra or upward facing dog. Just notice how those two sides will feel. We've only opened one side so far. And exhale, back into downward facing dog, lifting the pelvis up, dropping the heavy head down. Now feet could be roughly hip width apart, or they could be a bit wider. We're going to slowly walk hands to the feet. And you can bend your knees, bring the heels down, and now lean into a full forward bend. It's the first full forward bend, so you're more than welcome to bend the knees. And then maybe hold elbows in front of the legs. So now releasing the upper body, taking the weight off your upper body. You might gently swing from side to side, maybe move the weight from one foot to the other. Breathe in and out. Feel the upper body is heavy. Take another breath in and out. And bring the weight back to center. And then if you are holding the elbows, release the hands, the arms down. And bend the elbows just a bit more. As you inhale, roll your back up. Now bring arms behind the back. Interlock fingers. And then as you inhale, lift your chest up, opening through the front. So now finding a standing back bend. If you feel there's any discomfort or pain in the back, then bring hands onto your lower back, so you're supporting your lower back onto your hands. Keep lifting the chest bone up and release the tops of the shoulders away from the ears. Feel the active line of that back bend starting from your heels, going through the back of the legs, through the buttocks, through the spine, all the way up to your shoulders and neck. Take another breath in and out. And then keeping the arms behind the back, if that feels okay. Inhale, come back to center. And as you exhale, lean back into a forward bend. But now you could leave the arms behind the back and either extend the arms away from the back. So that might give you a bigger stretch in the shoulders. Or here as well, you could leave your hands onto your lower back. See what feels manageable and good in your body now. What do you need right now? And take another breath or two in and out. Full forward bend. Your knees can be as bent as you feel that they need to be. And then slowly release the hands onto your lower back. And from your lower back, release hands all the way down onto the mat. We're going to walk back into downward facing dog. So leave the pelvis up. You can shake the head a bit. And we'll add a little flow here again. So from downward dog, slowly come forward into plank, just like we did before. Keep pushing the mat away. Exhale either into low plank or all the way down onto your belly. And then inhaling into cobra or upward dog. See what feels better for you now. Keep the legs active. Exhale into downward dog. And from here, we're going to go into those movements that we did earlier on the left side. I'm going to do them to the right side now. So from downward dog, bring your knees to the mat. And then we're going to step into that kind of higher low lunge. So now step your right foot forward, close the hands, leave the left knee down. You can release the toes. And then pressing down through the right foot. Inhale, lift the back, lift the arms up. And again, find that activation through the core and just slightly imagine you're tucking the tailbone under. So we're not letting the pelvis, the belly kind of collapse forward. We're tucking in right now. And exhale, bring hands behind the head or behind the neck. Open the elbows as you inhale. Open through the chest, lifting the chest bone up, a small back bend. And as you exhale, bring chin towards the chest. You can close the elbows round the neck, round the upper back. Inhale again, opening the chest. So really here, using the breath to move the ribs. So small back bend. And exhale, closing in. Let the chest soften and open between the shoulder blades. Keeping the legs active, we'll do 2 more rounds with your own breath. Inhaling, opening through the front. The right foot active, pressing down. And exhale, closing in. You can bring the elbows in. 1 more round, or just finish the round that you're doing right now. Opening and closing. Moving especially the upper spine. And from that last exhalation, close in and bring hands all the way down to the mat. And we're going to now turn the left foot towards the right side of the mat. I'm going to step hands more to the left side of the mat, maybe even off the mat, and walk them a bit further forward, finding that downward dog upper body. So I suggest staying on your fingertips. It helps to keep the hands more active. And then start to lengthen your upper body forward. So you're kind of leaning to the inside of that right leg. You can adjust where exactly your upper body needs to be. If you need to go more out to the side, you can go more out to the side. Or if you need to walk hands more to the top of the mat, you can do that as well. I'm kind of going in a diagonal line. Again, with the idea of keeping your shoulders, arms, back active. The tops of the shoulders softening. Head can drop down. Trying to get to that hip, pelvic area. Take another breath or 2 in and out. And always remember, second side might feel very different, and that's very, very fine. And then slowly with your next in-breath, start to lift your back up. Walk the hands closer to that right foot. Close that left hip so you can tuck the toes under and step back into a downward dog. You can adjust where the hands are. You can adjust where the feet are. We have that 3-legged dog next. So now from your downward dog, send your left leg up. Like a long diagonal line from your hands to your left foot. And then rotating both hips open, start to bend that left knee. So the left foot comes closer to your buttocks. And opening the line from your left armpit towards that left knee. Again, there might be a bit more weight on the right hand. And you can peek under the left armpit. So you're kind of rotating the whole body a bit. Open to the left. And reaching the left knee away from the left armpit. And breathing in and out. Try to keep the neck soft. So not tensing any more than you need to. Finding softness where softness can be found. Take another breath in and out. And then slowly close the hips. I can bring both feet onto the mat. And now from this downward dog, we'll find our way onto the belly. So let's go through the plank. Shift the weight forward into plank. And then as you exhale, slowly bring yourself all the way down onto the belly. And bring both hands or kind of lower arms close to the top of the mat. So you could now lean head onto your hands, onto your arms, and just take a few breaths here. Maybe a few belly breaths in and out. We're going to do one-sided back bend here, lying down on the belly. We'll do the half bow pose. Take another breath in and out, resting your head down. And then slowly bend your right knee. So you still keep the right thigh on the mat. Leave your left arm on the mat in front of you. And then reach your right hand to your right foot. Now you could hold the outside of the foot. Or you might also hold the inside of the foot. Keep inner thighs engaged so we don't let the knees kind of escape out to the sides. And from here, gently draw in through the lower belly. Press the front of the pelvis down. And then as you inhale, see if you can open your chest just a bit more towards the front. And you can use the right leg to gently pull back to support in that back bend. Left arm can support you in front of you. There might be a small twist out to the right side, so if it feels good, you might gently open your chest out to the right, but don't force it. Make sure there's no pain in the back. And keep the inner thighs engaged. Take another breath in and out. And then slowly release the chest down. Let go of that right foot. Bring again both arms under the head, and you can a few times rock the pelvis from side to side. And then we'll do same to the other side. So now we're going to leave the right arm in front of us. We're going to bend the left knee and then reach the left hand to the left foot. Again, you can hold the outside or inside of that right foot. Inner thighs engaged. And from here, again, gently press the pelvis down, draw in through the lower belly. And then inhale towards the chest. Let the breath open the chest. And you could use that left leg to gently pull back. So finding your half bow. Maybe there's a bit of rotation out to the left, or maybe not. Up to you. See how you feel in your back. And keep breathing. So make sure the pose is not stopping your breath. You can always go lower down. You can come out of the pose if you start to feel it's impossible to breathe. If it's okay, take one more breath in and out in the pose. And then slowly release the chest down. Let go of that left foot and bring hands under the head. And just let yourself rest here for a few breaths. Maybe breathe all the way down to the belly area. All the way down to the lower back. And then you can either stay here for another few breaths before we continue movements, or find yourself in child's pose. So if you now feel that you need to round your back, then come into child's pose. Maybe rocking a bit from side to side in that child's pose. Just a counter pose after those back bends. let your arms rest. We have our next pose taking us into that playful, wild thing. So now, either from lying down on the belly or from your child's pose, bring yourself onto hands and knees. Bring yourself onto all fours. And just find a steady place for your hands. And from here, we're going to lift onto feet and hands, not a full downward dog, keeping the knees slightly bent. And we'll do the first couple of rounds slowly. So now from here, we're going to bring the left foot closer to the right side of the mat. And then step the right foot to the left side of the mat. And now start to open your belly, your chest up towards the ceiling. See if you could peek up to the ceiling. And the weight is only on your right hand. The left arm is free in the air. Knees bent. And from here, slowly circle that left hand back down. Now leave your right foot where it is. Bring your left foot under and again to that same side of the mat. Now shift the weight onto your left hand and start to open your belly, open your chest up to the ceiling. The right arm is free in the air. Maybe looking up to the ceiling, or maybe you're still looking down to the mat. And this is what we're going to do a few times, just a bit faster. Bring your right hand down, leave your left foot where it is. Bring your right leg under and back to the same place. And open your chest, open the belly. And see if you can find some opening through the shoulders. Left hand comes down. Leave your right foot where it is. Step your left leg, left foot under and back to the same place. Turn your belly, your chest up towards the ceiling. And again, slowly circle the right hand down. Leave left foot where it is. Step your right foot under and back to the side. And then leave your right hand down. Open the belly, open the chest. Maybe each round you can go just a bit further. Circle the left hand back down. Now leave your right foot where it is. Left leg goes under and leave the left hand down. Open the chest, open the belly. Maybe looking up. And again, circle the right hand down. Leave your left foot where it is. Right leg goes under. Leave the right hand down and look up, or open the belly, open the chest. See if you can find a bit more of a back bend. One last time. Circle the left hand down and left leg steps under and over. Leave the left hand down. One more time. Opening the chest, opening the shoulders, opening the front of the hips. And then bring your right hand down and just find yourself in the center. And from your kind of downward facing dog, step or walk your feet to your hands so that you can bring yourself into a seat. And take a few breaths in and out. Just in that seat, releasing the weight off the hands, releasing the weight off the arms. Letting your breath calm down. Take a few slightly deeper breaths in and out. And then we're going to slowly find our way lying down. So from seat, bring yourself to lie down on the back. And take a moment to find a comfortable place. We're going to now bring our knees to the chest and we're going to go into a happy baby pose. So counter pose for those back bends. So when you're lying down on the back, start to open your knees out to the sides. reach hands to your feet or ankles, and you could stay here. This could be your happy baby. Or if you want, start to lift your feet up towards the ceiling, and you could gently, gently rock from side to side. Just opening through the lower back, opening through the backs of the legs. And you can play with the legs. Maybe you want to straighten one leg more than the other. You choose. And take a couple more breaths in your happy baby. Try to soften the shoulders. Try to soften your neck. Try to soften your jaw. Breathe all the way down to the belly area, to the lower back area. And then slowly, slowly release the feet, close the hips, and bring your feet all the way down onto the mat. We have one more twist to both sides, but before that, just a few windshield wipers, swinging the knees, swinging the legs, just kind of testing how that twist might feel like. And then let your knees slowly fall to the left side of the mat. And you can either leave your legs wide apart, maybe there's a gap between your knees, or you can bring your right leg on top of the left, and you could open your right arm out to the right side of the mat. So the right arm opening to the opposite side, maybe left hand resting on your knees. But this is just one suggestion. Find your twist. And now let this twist be a relaxed one. So now we start to slowly soften the body, finding a bit of ease and release after all those back bends, after all that time we've spent on the hands. So find a place where you feel your shoulders, arms, hands could rest. Allow space for your breaths. Head might lean to one side or the other. Where do you feel the neck can stay soft? Give yourself a few more breaths in your twist. Allowing those breaths to slide down towards the ribs, down towards the belly. Exhalation softening. And then after those few breaths, or when you feel you'd be ready to do so, slowly release the twist. Slide back onto your back. Find an easy way out, what feels good for you. Again, you might rock the knees from side to side a few times so that we could then find the twist on the other side. So now bringing knees to the right side of the mat. Again, legs could be wide apart. Or you could bring your left leg on top of the right. Maybe open the left arm out to the left side. Just find your shape on the second side. Maybe it's different, and that's very, very fine. Exhale to soften the shoulders. Exhale to soften the neck. exhale to soften the ribs, soften the belly. Letting yourself be just a bit heavier. Let the floor, the mat, support you here. Give yourself a couple more breaths in your twist. Or if you need to take longer, you're very welcome to stay there longer. Then in your own time, slowly bring yourself back onto your back. If there's any movement you need to do before finding Savasana pose, let yourself move. Just know that the next pose I'll guide you through is Savasana pose. So when you are ready, find your own resting pose. Now this could be lying down on the back, but you could as well lie down on your belly, or maybe you want to curl down onto one side. Maybe a child's pose would feel better today. Let this be any resting pose, your resting pose. You can bring hands onto your belly, or rest your hands next to your sides. You could close your eyes. For a moment, turn your awareness inwards. Just observe your breath. Notice each in-breath. Notice each out-breath. Let yourself let go of tension. Let go of effort in your body, effort in your mind. And for a moment, just let yourself be. There's nothing to do right now. So let yourself be here, be in this moment, focusing on yourself. Give yourself another 5 to 10 breaths in your resting pose. Maybe a few times exhale through the mouth, like letting out a sigh. Notice if there's tension you could still let go of. And also notice if today you need a longer Savasana pose. You're very welcome to stay in your resting pose as I close the practice. So listen to what your body, what your mind needs right now. If you feel that you're ready to slowly start coming out of your Savasana pose, just gently move your fingers, your toes. Bring gentle movement to your hands and feet, or maybe rock the head from side to side, allowing the neck to move. You could gently stretch arms overhead if that's an easy thing to do from your pose. Lengthen the whole body long. And then in your own time, roll onto one side. It could be the left or the right side, which one feels more natural to you now. You can find your own easy seat to end the practice with. Just take those few breaths to let go of the practice. If it's part of your practice, you can bring hands, your palms together in front of the chest. And as always, at the end of the practice, most importantly, thank yourself for bringing yourself onto your mat, into your practice, into your body today. And I thank you very much for joining in, for sharing the practice. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in. I do hope you enjoyed the practice. And if you did, please give the video a thumbs up and also leave any comments below. I love to hear from you, how you feel now after the practice. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. There'll be loads and loads more yoga videos coming up. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.